Silence is often celebrated as golden, an emblem of wisdom, patience, and self-control. But is it truly the best choice in every situation? Imagine a world where silence enables injustice to flourish, values to crumble, and connections to fracture. Have you ever chosen silence in a moment when your voice could have made a difference? Perhaps it was fear of confrontation or the discomfort of standing alone. If you've been there, you're not alone. In Stoic philosophy, silence can be a virtue, but only when paired with discernment. Marcus Aurelius taught us that what's not good for the hive is not good for the bee, reminding us that passivity can harm not just others, but ourselves. Today, we'll explore 5 critical situations where staying silent is not just a mistake, it's a betrayal of your integrity. Each moment calls for courage, clarity, and action, rooted in timeless wisdom from the Stoics, alongside insights from Buddhism and Confucian thought. Have you ever found yourself holding back your voice? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you navigated it. And if you're ready to unlock the power of your voice, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Let's begin this transformative journey together. 1. The significance of silence and voice. Silence has been celebrated across cultures as a symbol of wisdom, patience, and composure. Confucius noted, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions," reminding us of the value of thoughtful action over careless words. Similarly, Buddhism teaches that silence fosters mindfulness, helping us observe reality without judgment. Stoic philosophy emphasizes silence as a tool for reflection, not as an escape. However, silence, like a double-edged sword, can either protect or harm, depending on its use. The key is discerning when silence transitions from wisdom to complicity. There are moments when staying silent is a betrayal, not just of others, but of yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What's not good for the hive is not good for the bee," highlighting the interconnectedness of our actions. Silence in the face of wrongdoing can temporarily preserve peace, but it also allows harm to persist. For example, imagine a workplace where unethical practices go unchecked because employees fear retaliation. Silence in such situations perpetuates harm and erodes trust. Reflect on this. Have you ever chosen silence over speaking up? Did it truly resolve the issue, or did it enable further harm? When used thoughtfully, silence has profound benefits. It provides space to process emotions, avoid impulsive reactions, and foster understanding. A leader who listens commands respect, and a friend who remains silent to allow another to share fosters trust. Silence in heated moments, like family arguments, can diffuse tension and open the door to meaningful dialogue. In these instances, silence acts as a shield, protecting relationships from unnecessary harm. But silence can also become a prison, a means of avoiding responsibility or conflict. The Stoics remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery includes knowing when to use our voice. Speaking up for justice, truth, or personal boundaries affirms integrity, while silence in these moments betrays the virtues the Stoics cherished. Cultural wisdom reflects this balance. Confucius observed, "Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without." This suggests that while silence can prevent errors, thoughtful speech carries greater value. Buddhism emphasizes mindful speech, words that are true, necessary, and kind, as a means to build trust and harmony. Silence, when motivated by fear or avoidance, compromises values. Speaking up in these moments is both difficult and necessary. Imagine witnessing a colleague being unfairly blamed for a mistake you know they didn't commit. Remaining silent might shield you from conflict, but it allows an innocent person to suffer. Speaking up, while daunting, upholds justice and strengthens integrity. The Stoics remind us that aligning our actions with virtue is what defines character. Reflect. What's more important, your comfort or your values? Finding the balance between silence and voice takes practice. Begin by observing your motives. Before speaking, ask, will my words help or harm? Am I staying silent because it's wise, or because it's easier? When aligned with truth and empathy, your voice becomes a force for good. As Confucius and the Stoics teach, words used thoughtfully uplift rather than harm. Let's reflect together. When was the last time you chose silence or speaking up? Did it reflect your values or your fears? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could inspire others. Silence is a powerful tool, but like all tools, it must be used wisely. Speak when it upholds justice and virtue. Remain silent when it fosters understanding and peace. This timeless wisdom from the Stoics, Confucius, and the Buddha reminds us that balance is key. If this resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join a community dedicated to thoughtful living. Let's amplify voices that truly matter. 2. 5 situations where you should never be silent. Situation 1. When witnessing injustice. Injustice isn't just a violation of fairness, it's a corrosive force that undermines trust, dignity, and the fabric of a community. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, aptly stated, "What's not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This insight highlights the shared consequences of injustice, not just for the victims, but also for those who remain silent. Silence in such moments allows harm to persist and grows complicit in the wrong. Imagine being in a workplace where a colleague is unfairly criticized for an error they didn't commit. You know the truth, but hesitation and fear of repercussions hold you back. Silence might seem like the safer option, but it reinforces the wrong and undermines the very values you stand for. This isn't hypothetical. I faced a similar situation early in my career. A co-worker was unjustly reprimanded during a team meeting. I stayed silent, convincing myself that intervening wasn't my responsibility. But the guilt of my inaction lingered, teaching me a profound lesson about the cost of silence and the power of speaking up. Buddhism teaches that ignoring injustice is a denial of compassion and wisdom, while the Stoics emphasize integrity over comfort. Overcoming the fear of speaking out begins with small steps. Ask yourself, what's more important, my discomfort or another's dignity? Support the victim, share the truth with someone in authority, or raise concerns privately if a public confrontation feels overwhelming. Every action, no matter how small, matters. The ripple effects of speaking up are profound. First, it aligns your actions with your values, strengthening your moral character. Second, it fosters trust and accountability within your community. Finally, your courage inspires others to find their own voice, creating a collective stand against wrongdoing. Reflect on this. What if no one speaks up? Harm becomes normalized, fairness erodes, and injustice thrives. But one brave voice can turn the tide, inspiring others to act. The next time you witness injustice, take a deep breath and remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. What's not good for the hive is not good for the bee. Even a small act of courage can make a profound difference. Speak up not to change the world in a single moment, but to uphold the values that define humanity: fairness, dignity, and compassion. Have you ever chosen to speak up against injustice? How did it impact you, and what was the outcome? Or have you regretted staying silent? Share your stories in the comments. Your experience could inspire someone else to find their courage. If this message resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our community of thinkers and doers. Together, let's amplify voices that stand for integrity and create a ripple effect for a more just world. And remember, your voice, no matter how small, has the power to make a difference. Let's use it boldly. Situation 2. When personal boundaries are being crossed. Defending personal boundaries is as essential as speaking out against injustice, yet it often feels just as challenging. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define respect, trust, and self-worth in our relationships. However, fear of conflict or misunderstanding often prevents us from asserting them. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, aptly stated, "No one is free who is not master of himself," reminding us that true freedom comes from self-mastery. Similarly, Confucius emphasized, self-respect is the foundation for earning respect from others, underlining the importance of valuing ourselves to foster healthier connections. Imagine a scenario where a close friend constantly interrupts your downtime with demands for attention, assuming you're always available. Initially, you might accommodate them to avoid tension. But over time, you feel drained, unable to recharge or focus on your own needs. What would you do? Do you let the behavior continue, or do you set a boundary? Reflect on this. How have you addressed similar situations in your life? I once faced a similar challenge at work. A colleague frequently offloaded their tasks onto me, assuming I would handle them without question. At first, I complied to maintain harmony, but the growing workload soon led to frustration. One day, I decided to speak up. I calmly said, "I value teamwork, but I've noticed I'm taking on more tasks than I can handle. Let's find a way to balance this fairly." While the conversation was uncomfortable, it created a sense of mutual respect and a healthier dynamic. Defending boundaries doesn't mean rejecting others. It means affirming your self-worth. Effective communication is key. Phrasing concerns constructively helps avoid unnecessary conflict. For instance, instead of saying, "You're taking advantage of me," a better approach might be, "I feel overwhelmed by our current arrangement. Let's work on a solution that benefits both of us." This balances firmness with empathy, ensuring your boundaries are understood without damaging relationships. Why is asserting boundaries so difficult? Many of us fear rejection, guilt, or the misconception that saying no makes us selfish. To overcome this, ask yourself, am I staying silent because I fear their reaction, or because I believe my needs don't matter? If fear is the driver, remember Epictetus's wisdom. Setting boundaries is an act of self-mastery. Here's a scenario you might not expect. Imagine a volunteer who takes on too many commitments, leaving no time for their own well-being. Overwhelmed but hesitant to decline new requests, they eventually burn out, unable to contribute effectively. Learning to set boundaries, politely declining additional responsibilities, isn't selfish. It's necessary for sustainable service. Establishing boundaries transforms relationships. It builds self-confidence and nurtures connections based on mutual respect. As Confucius wisely observed, self-respect is the foundation for earning respect from others. When you prioritize your needs, others are more likely to value and honor them. Take a moment to reflect. Are there boundaries in your life that need reinforcement? How might addressing them improve your relationships or peace of mind? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience could inspire others to protect their values. Defending boundaries is not a one-time action, but a continuous practice. Start with one situation where your limits are being crossed and address it with clarity and kindness. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift in how others perceive and respect you. If this resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our growing community of courageous thinkers and doers. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss our next exploration of transformative ideas. Remember, setting boundaries isn't about building walls. It's about creating space for mutual respect and meaningful relationships. Together, let's take the first step toward living with integrity and self-respect. Situation 3. When the truth needs to be defended. The truth is a fragile yet powerful force. It has the ability to build trust, shape relationships, and uphold integrity, but it often comes under threat when silence seems easier than confrontation. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, taught, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This principle reminds us that living virtuously requires honesty, not just in our actions, but in our words. Yet defending the truth can be daunting, especially when it means challenging others or risking personal comfort. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where speaking the truth felt impossible? How did you respond? Share your experience in the comments. It could be the perspective someone else needs. One vivid example of this occurred during a project I was involved in at work. A key report was presented to a client, but it contained a significant error. The mistake wasn't intentional, but it painted a misleading picture that could have jeopardized the project's credibility. As the presentation continued, I felt the weight of silence settle over the room. Everyone noticed the error, yet no one spoke up. My instincts urged me to stay quiet. After all, pointing it out could embarrass the presenter and disrupt the meeting. But Marcus Aurelius's wisdom echoed in my mind. If it is not true, do not say it. I knew that by remaining silent, I would be complicit in the deception. Summoning my courage, I respectfully highlighted the error. The atmosphere was tense, but the correction allowed the team to address the issue transparently, saving the project's integrity and reinforcing the client's trust. Defending the truth, as I learned that day, isn't about proving others wrong or seeking recognition. It's about protecting the foundations of honesty and trust. Imagine a family scenario. During a discussion about a significant financial decision, one member downplays potential risks to gain approval for their plan. You notice their omission, but hesitate to speak up, fearing it might strain relationships. However, addressing the issue, gently but firmly, could prevent future conflict and ensure a well-informed decision. Your voice, in such moments, becomes a pillar of accountability. But why do we often hesitate to speak the truth? For many, it's the fear of confrontation, judgment, or being perceived as difficult. The Stoics understood this internal conflict, urging us to prioritize virtue over comfort. Honesty, they believed, is not about being fearless, but about aligning our actions with our principles despite fear. Think about a time when you chose to stay silent instead of speaking up. What held you back? Was it worth it in the end? Let's discuss in the comments. Your story may resonate with someone facing a similar challenge. Of course, defending the truth doesn't mean being harsh or insensitive. Effective communication requires empathy and tact. For instance, instead of bluntly saying, "You're wrong," a more constructive approach might be, "I think there's another perspective we should consider." This method not only preserves relationships, but also opens the door to collaborative problem-solving. As Confucius wisely said, "Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without." The truth, even when uncomfortable, is always more valuable than the comfort of avoidance. Defending the truth also inspires others. When you stand for what's right, you create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to do the same. Imagine a teacher who acknowledges their mistake in front of students. That act of humility and honesty not only earns respect, but also teaches the students the value of integrity. Similarly, Your decision to speak the truth can set a powerful example, strengthening trust within your community or workplace. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you chose honesty over convenience? How did it impact your relationships or your sense of self-respect? If this resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our community of truth seekers and change makers. Turn on notifications to ensure you never miss content that challenges and inspires you to grow. In a world where truth is often blurred by convenience and fear, your commitment to honesty can be a guiding light. Speak up when the truth is at stake, not to prove a point, but to uphold the values that define you. Remember, as the Stoics taught, living virtuously is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Let your honesty be the foundation of your integrity, and let your voice inspire others to do the same. Together, we can build a world where truth is not just defended, but celebrated. Situation 4. When mistakes need correction. Mistakes are inevitable in life. They are not the marks of weakness, but of humanity, and how we respond to them defines our character. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, taught, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This suggests that the obstacles we face, including our own errors, are not hindrances but opportunities for growth. Similarly, Buddhism emphasizes that acknowledging and correcting mistakes is the first step toward enlightenment. Yet, in a world that often stigmatizes failure, admitting errors can feel daunting. Have you ever found yourself reluctant to admit a mistake? What held you back? Let me know in the comments. Your insight could inspire others facing similar challenges. I once worked with a manager who exemplified the power of owning one's mistakes. During a major project, a misstep in planning led to delays and misallocated resources. The easy path would have been to shift blame to the team or external factors. Instead, the manager called a meeting, openly admitted their oversight, and outlined a plan to rectify the situation. They said, "This mistake was mine, and I take full responsibility. Here's how we're going to address it moving forward." That moment didn't diminish their authority. In fact, it strengthened the team's respect for them and reinforced trust. Their willingness to admit and correct their error turned a setback into a lesson for everyone involved. Acknowledging mistakes is not about self-flagellation, it's about accountability. Imagine a scenario where a friend unintentionally hurts your feelings with a thoughtless comment. When confronted, they can either deny their actions, making the situation worse, or sincerely apologize, saying, "I'm sorry for what I said. It was insensitive, and I didn't mean to hurt you." Which response would rebuild trust? Without doubt, the latter. Yet many struggle to admit faults due to pride, fear of judgment, or an unwillingness to appear vulnerable. The Stoics remind us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. Admitting mistakes demonstrates humility, courage, and a commitment to growth. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By responding to errors with integrity, you set an example for others and show that perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Take another example. A CEO who implements a flawed strategy that leads to financial losses. Instead of hiding behind a facade of infallibility, they publicly acknowledge the mistake and outline corrective measures. This act of transparency not only preserves the company's credibility, but also inspires employees to take accountability in their own roles. As Buddhism teaches, recognizing a mistake is the first step toward liberation from ignorance. By admitting fault, we free ourselves from the weight of denial and pave the way for meaningful improvement. But what if you're the one who has been wronged? How do you create a space for someone to acknowledge their mistake? Open communication is key. Approach the conversation with empathy, saying, "I want to discuss something that's been bothering me. I know you didn't mean to hurt me, but I'd appreciate if we could address it. This invites understanding rather than defensiveness, making it easier for the other person to take responsibility. Reflect on your own experiences. When was the last time you admitted a mistake? How did it impact your relationships or your sense of self-worth? Or has someone's apology ever changed your perspective on a situation? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear how you navigated those moments. Correcting mistakes also fosters personal growth. It teaches resilience and adaptability, as every error becomes an opportunity to learn. Consider keeping a journal to reflect on your missteps, not as a record of failures, but as a roadmap for progress. Write about what went wrong, what you learned, and how you plan to move forward. This practice can help you embrace mistakes as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. As you think about this, ask yourself, what mistake in your life could you address today? How might owning it open the door to new possibilities? If this resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our community of learners and thinkers committed to personal growth. Turn on notifications so you never miss content designed to inspire and challenge you to become your best self. In the end, mistakes are inevitable, but they are not final. They are moments that test our humility, courage, and ability to adapt. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, what stands in the way becomes the way. By owning and addressing your errors, you transform obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Let your mistakes be the foundation of your growth, and let your example inspire others to do the same. Together, we can build a culture that values integrity over perfection, progress over pride. Situation 5. When you can help others. Helping others is one of the most profound expressions of humanity. It not only uplifts those in need, but also nurtures the giver's sense of purpose and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, captured this beautifully. What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee. This wisdom reminds us that our well-being is interconnected with the well-being of those around us. Similarly, Buddhism views sharing as an act of boundless compassion, while Confucius emphasizes the superior man helps others achieve what they desire. But what does it mean to truly help? And how can sharing our knowledge and experiences become a catalyst for transformation? Imagine you have a friend navigating the devastating loss of a loved one. Their pain is palpable, yet they retreat into isolation, unsure of how to cope. You've been there. You know the darkness and the slow path to healing. But instead of assuming your perspective is unwelcome, you approach gently, saying, "I've been through something similar, and I'd like to share what helped me, if that's okay." This simple gesture of vulnerability can create a safe space for dialogue, providing the comfort and guidance they need. Have you ever been in such a situation, either as the giver or the receiver of support? Share your story in the comments. It might resonate deeply with someone who needs it today. Helping doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's about sharing practical advice, teaching financial skills to a friend drowning in debt, guiding someone through a health crisis, or mentoring a young colleague. I once had a mentor who profoundly shaped my career. Early in my professional journey, I struggled with self-doubt and a lack of direction. My mentor, seeing my potential, shared their own story of overcoming similar challenges and provided actionable steps to build confidence and clarity. Their guidance not only transformed my approach to work, but also instilled in me a deep desire to pay it forward. Years later, I found myself mentoring others, realizing that my experiences could empower them just as my mentors had empowered me. But why do some hesitate to help, even when they can? For many, it's the fear of overstepping, saying the wrong thing, or being perceived as intrusive. The key lies in humility and intention. When offering help, ask yourself, am I doing this to validate myself, or because I genuinely want to support the other person? Approach with empathy and frame your offer in a way that respects their autonomy. For example, instead of declaring, "You need to do this," say, "Here's what worked for me. Would you like to hear about it?" This shift from directive to invitational language can make all the difference. The Stoics believed that knowledge is a tool, not a trophy. Marcus Aurelius's hive analogy underscores the idea that personal growth and wisdom are meant to be shared for the greater good. Similarly, Buddhism teaches that sharing lightens not only the receiver's burden, but also the giver's heart. Reflect on this. What knowledge or experience do you hold that could make someone's journey easier? Perhaps it's as simple as teaching someone how to budget, offering strategies for stress management, or sharing lessons from a failure you've overcome. Picture this scenario. A neighbor has just started a small business but is overwhelmed by the challenges of marketing. You have experience in digital marketing and know the pitfalls they should avoid. Instead of watching from the sidelines, you reach out and say, "I've worked on similar projects before. Would you like some tips to get started?" Your insight, shared humbly, could save them time, money, and frustration, fostering trust and collaboration in your community. Helping others also benefits the helper. It strengthens relationships, builds trust, and fosters a sense of interconnectedness. As Confucius noted, the superior man helps others achieve what they desire. When you assist someone in reaching their goals, you contribute to a shared sense of success and harmony. This creates a ripple effect. Those who are helped often feel inspired to extend the same kindness to others, creating a chain of goodwill. Reflect for a moment. Who in your life might benefit from your guidance or support today? What step could you take to offer help in a way that feels authentic and respectful? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've been able to uplift someone or how someone's assistance has shaped your life. If this message resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our growing community of compassionate thinkers and doers. Turn on notifications so you never miss another chance to explore ideas that inspire action. Together, let's make kindness and generosity a cornerstone of our shared humanity. In the end, helping others isn't just an act of charity, it's a reflection of who we are and what we value. By sharing our knowledge, experiences, and resources, we align with the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Confucius, and the Buddha, who all recognize the transformative power of compassion. Let your actions speak, and let your willingness to uplift others become the highest expression of your character. In these 5 situations, facing injustice, protecting personal boundaries, defending the truth, correcting mistakes, and helping others, silence is not an option, but a call to action. What other moments in life demand the courage to speak up? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The benefits of balancing silence and speaking up. Mastering the balance between silence and speaking up is an art that can profoundly enhance our personal and professional lives. Silence, when used wisely, provides space for reflection and understanding, while thoughtful words at the right moment build trust and foster meaningful connections. Striking this balance is not just a skill, it's a pathway to growth, harmony, and success. One of the most significant benefits of balancing silence and speech is its power to build trust. Silence allows us to listen deeply and understand others without jumping to conclusions. When we actively listen, people feel heard and valued, which strengthens relationships. At the same time, speaking up when it truly matters, whether to share insights, defend values, or offer support, demonstrates reliability and authenticity. Trust flourishes when our silence conveys respect and our words carry sincerity. Imagine a friend confiding in you about a personal struggle. By remaining silent and simply listening, you show empathy. But when the time is right, offering thoughtful words of encouragement strengthens their faith in your support. This balance also plays a crucial role in protecting mental health. Silence provides moments of peace, helping us step back from overwhelming situations and process emotions. It reduces stress by allowing us to observe without immediate reaction, cultivating clarity and composure. On the other hand, speaking up can release pent-up feelings, reduce internal conflict, and enhance self-confidence. For instance, if you've been holding on to frustration in a challenging relationship, choosing to express your concerns constructively can bring relief and pave the way for resolution. Have you ever experienced the freedom that comes from articulating something you've held back? Share your story in the comments. Your insight might resonate with others. In the workplace, the ability to balance silence and speech can be a game changer for success. Silence during meetings or discussions often signals thoughtfulness, while well-timed contributions demonstrate initiative and expertise. Leaders who listen before speaking earn respect, as their words carry more weight. Conversely, professionals who speak up appropriately, whether to share ideas, address issues, or advocate for themselves, are often seen as confident and capable. Imagine being in a team meeting where silence dominates the room and no one steps forward with solutions. Your willingness to break the silence with a clear, constructive idea can set you apart as a problem solver and leader. Reflect for a moment. When was the last time your voice created a positive impact in your career? Moreover, balancing silence and speaking fosters deep, lasting relationships. Silence allows us to understand others' emotions and perspectives, creating a foundation of empathy. Meanwhile, speaking up with honesty and kindness builds connection and trust. Consider a romantic partnership. Moments of silence during disagreements can prevent impulsive arguments, while candid conversations afterward help resolve issues and strengthen the bond. As Confucius said, "Words are the voice of the heart, but silence reveals its depth." A relationship thrives when both silence and speech are used thoughtfully, ensuring mutual respect and understanding. The benefits of this balance are not confined to specific areas of life. They permeate every aspect of our existence. Silence and speech, when harmonized, allow us to communicate effectively, nurture well-being, and build lasting bonds. Take a moment to reflect. Are there areas in your life where you lean too heavily on silence or speaking? How might adjusting that balance transform your relationships, career, or inner peace? Share your reflections below. Your experiences can inspire others to seek balance in their lives. Ultimately, balancing silence and speaking up is about knowing when to observe and when to act, when to listen and when to lead. It's a skill that transforms conflicts into opportunities, misunderstandings into clarity, and relationships into meaningful connections. If this message resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our community of thinkers and learners. Turn on notifications so you won't miss future explorations of ideas that inspire growth. Together, let's embrace the power of balanced communication to create a more harmonious and fulfilling life. 3. The benefits of balancing silence and speaking up. Mastering the balance between silence and speaking up is an art that can profoundly enhance our personal and professional lives. Silence, when used wisely, provides space for reflection and understanding, while thoughtful words at the right moment build trust and foster meaningful connections. Striking this balance is not just a skill, it's a pathway to growth, harmony, and success. One of the most significant benefits of balancing silence and speech is its power to build trust. Silence allows us to listen deeply and understand others without jumping to conclusions. When we actively listen, people feel heard and valued, which strengthens relationships. At the same time, speaking up when it truly matters, whether to share insights, defend values, or offer support, demonstrates reliability and authenticity. Trust flourishes when our silence conveys respect and our words carry sincerity. Imagine a friend confiding in you about a personal struggle. By remaining silent and simply listening, you show empathy. But when the time is right, offering thoughtful words of encouragement strengthens their faith in your support. This balance also plays a crucial role in protecting mental health. Silence provides moments of peace, helping us step back from overwhelming situations and process emotions. It reduces stress by allowing us to observe without immediate reaction, cultivating clarity and composure. On the other hand, speaking up can release pent-up feelings, reduce internal conflict, and enhance self-confidence. For instance, if you've been holding on to frustration in a challenging relationship, choosing to express your concerns constructively can bring relief and pave the way for resolution. Have you ever experienced the freedom that comes from articulating something you've held back? Share your story in the comments. Your insight might resonate with others. In the workplace, the ability to balance silence and speech can be a game changer for success. Silence during meetings or discussions often signals thoughtfulness, while well-timed contributions demonstrate initiative and expertise. Leaders who listen before speaking earn respect, as their words carry more weight. Conversely, professionals who speak up appropriately, whether to share ideas, address issues, or advocate for themselves, are often seen as confident and capable. Imagine being in a team meeting where silence dominates the room and no one steps forward with solutions. Your willingness to break the silence with a clear, constructive idea can set you apart as a problem solver and leader. Reflect for a moment. When was the last time your voice created a positive impact in your career? Moreover, balancing silence and speaking fosters deep, lasting relationships. Silence allows us to understand others' emotions and perspectives, creating a foundation of empathy. Meanwhile, speaking up with honesty and kindness builds connection and trust. Consider a romantic partnership. Moments of silence during disagreements can prevent impulsive arguments, while candid conversations afterward help resolve issues and strengthen the bond. As Confucius said, words are the voice of the heart, but silence reveals its depth. A relationship thrives when both silence and speech are used thoughtfully, ensuring mutual respect and understanding. The benefits of this balance are not confined to specific areas of life. They permeate every aspect of our existence. Silence and speech, when harmonized, allow us to communicate effectively, nurture well-being, and build lasting bonds. Take a moment to reflect. Are there areas in your life where you lean too heavily on silence or speaking? How might adjusting that balance transform your relationships, career, or inner peace? Share your reflections below. Your experiences can inspire others to seek balance in their lives. Ultimately, balancing silence and speaking up is about knowing when to observe and when to act, when to listen and when to lead. It's a skill that transforms conflicts into opportunities, misunderstandings into clarity, and relationships into meaningful connections. If this message resonates with you, hit like and subscribe to join our community of thinkers and learners. Turn on notifications so you won't miss future explorations of ideas that inspire growth. Together, let's embrace the power of balanced communication to create a more harmonious and fulfilling life. 4. Lessons from the wisdom of the ancients. The wisdom of the ancients offers profound insights into the balance between silence and speech. aligning beautifully with the concept of knowing when to speak up. Confucius taught, "Be cautious with your words. Actions are more significant than speech." This reminds us that silence often holds more weight than empty words, and our actions must align with our values. Buddhism complements this by emphasizing that silence can lead to clarity and understanding, but timely action is the key to enlightenment. The Stoics, with their practical approach to life, saw our voice as a tool to uphold virtue and core values. Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it," reflects the importance of using words to preserve justice and integrity. These timeless teachings urge us to act and speak with intention, courage, and virtue in life's critical. As we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect on the immense power of your voice. Every time you choose to speak up or stay silent, you shape the world around you. Silence can be a tool for reflection, but when wielded at the wrong moments, it can become a shield for fear, apathy, or complicity. Speaking up, on the other hand, is not always easy. It demands courage, clarity, and conviction. Yet it is in these moments of bravery that we define who we are and what we stand for. The great thinkers we've drawn from today, Marcus Aurelius, Confucius, and the Buddha, remind us that our words, when used wisely, have the power to build trust, foster understanding, and inspire change. But this isn't just philosophy, it's a call to action for all of us. What situation in your life right now is calling for your voice? What small, brave step could you take today to uphold your values? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for being part of this journey. Your engagement makes this community a space where ideas flourish and lives transform. If this message resonates with you, show your support by liking this video and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you can join us for more discussions that inspire growth, courage, and purpose. Remember, your voice has the power to light up the darkness. Use it boldly, and together, let's create a ripple of change that makes the world a better place.